Before the world tells you who you are, the voice inside your mind is quietly shaping the person you are becoming. Are you really listening? That inner dialogue, often unnoticed, has more power than any compliment or criticism from outside. Confidence isn't about proving yourself. It's about cultivating a steady strength from within, patiently, one step at a time. Imagine your thoughts as seeds. Every doubt, every fear left unchecked grows like weeds. But every word of encouragement, every recognition of your own resilience, plants a tree that will stand tall no matter the storm. In this journey, there are 8 steps to becoming the most confident version of yourself, and it all begins with understanding, guiding, and nurturing that inner voice. In this journey, there are 8 steps to becoming the most confident version of yourself. Step 1 begins with the voice inside your mind. Have you ever noticed how your thoughts shape your day before anything even happens? A single word of doubt whispered repeatedly can shrink your spirit, while words of encouragement can lift you higher than any external praise ever could. Most of us let this inner voice run unchecked, replaying old fears, failures, or criticisms. But awareness changes everything. Start simply, sit quietly, breathe deeply, and listen. Ask yourself, how do I speak to myself? Would I say these words to someone I care about? Then imagine guiding your thoughts as you would a student, gently redirecting "I can't" into "I will learn," "I am not enough" into "I am becoming stronger every day." With each repetition, your mind rewires itself. This isn't just positive thinking, it's training your inner self to become a steadfast companion rather than a harsh critic. And remember, fear will always speak. It is not your enemy, but a passenger in your vehicle. You hold the wheel. Confidence grows when you keep moving forward, even when fear whispers that you shouldn't. Over time, hesitation fades, self-belief rises, and decisions feel easier. Not because the world has changed, but because the dialogue inside you has. By mastering this inner voice, you lay the foundation for all the other steps, allowing your confidence to flow naturally, quietly, yet powerfully, through every thought, movement, and breath you take. Today, we step into the first part of our journey to becoming the most confident version of ourselves with what I like to call the inner strength journey, how the body supports the mind. Right at the start of today's video, ask yourself, how often do we truly treat our body as the foundation of our inner resilience? The body and mind are deeply connected. When the body is weak, hesitation grows, and self-doubt whispers louder than ever. But when the body is strong, moving with awareness and energy, the mind follows naturally. It becomes calm, focused, and unshakable. Every posture you hold, every deliberate breath you take, sends a subtle signal to your brain. I am present. I am ready. Even the simple act of walking with intention communicates strength before a single word is spoken. Think of your body as the vessel through which your spirit expresses itself. Ignoring it is like trying to sail a ship without a rudder, directionless, vulnerable. Movement, be it exercise, martial arts, stretching, or mindful walking, teaches more than physical strength. It cultivates patience, resilience, and discipline. Each repetition, every drop of sweat, whispers to your mind, you can endure, you can rise above. These practices are not merely about muscle or appearance. They are a conversation with your inner self, training the mind to remain steady in life's storms. Breath is the bridge between body and mind. Notice how shallow, restless breathing makes the mind anxious, while slow, deep breathing steadies the spirit. Through conscious breath, we claim authority over our own reactions, not by silencing fear, but by walking forward with it present, letting it sit quietly as a passenger while we take the wheel. Ancient wisdom and modern mindfulness meet here. Confidence grows from quiet awareness, cultivated step by step. Daily choices, what we eat, how we rest, the routines we uphold, directly influence our energy, clarity, and vitality. Neglect these, and the mind falters like a house built on sand. Treat the body as sacred, as the tool that carries your spirit, and your mind becomes sharper, more resilient. Over time, you will notice subtle changes: a taller stance, deliberate movements, a presence that radiates confidence. This is not forced. It emerges naturally from the harmony between body and mind. So as we journey through today's video, we will explore this first essential step in depth: how caring for your body and cultivating mindful movement forms the foundation of an unshakable mind. Every stretch, every breath, every deliberate step is a quiet act of self-mastery, laying the groundwork for the next steps in our journey to confidence. Remember, it is not about perfection. It is about honoring your body as a partner of your spirit. Each small effort, standing taller, breathing with intention, moving mindfully, is a building block for lasting inner confidence. By the end of today's video, you will see how these seemingly simple practices can transform your energy, enhance focus, and allow your inner strength to flourish naturally. Together, we step into the first stage of becoming the most confident version of yourself. And as our body and mind begin to align, creating a foundation of inner strength, the next step in this journey emerges quietly but powerfully. The promises we make to ourselves shape the very core of our confidence. Inner trust is the quiet force that underpins every confident action. Unlike the applause of a crowd or external validation, true confidence blooms in the intimate moments when no one is watching, when you honor the agreements you make with yourself. Think about it. Every promise you keep, no matter how small, is a vote of confidence cast inward. Each time you follow through, you whisper to your soul, "I can rely on me." And each time you break a commitment, even a minor one, doubt seeps in, slowly eroding the trust that forms the foundation of self-belief. Imagine waking up in the morning and telling yourself you will rise just 10 minutes earlier. It seems trivial, yet it is a sacred exercise in self-discipline. When you honor it, you reinforce a subtle but profound truth. You are trustworthy to yourself. Repeat this in countless small actions: drinking more water, completing a task, sitting in meditation, or showing patience in a stressful moment. And these small victories build a fortress of confidence brick by brick. Over time, this inner reliability radiates outward. You begin to act with calm certainty, not because the world guarantees it, but because you have cultivated it from within. Now, inner trust is not about perfection. You will stumble, you will forget, and that is not failure, it is practice. Every lapse is a gentle reminder to return to discipline, to forgive yourself, and to recommit. This cycle of fall and rise is where resilience is forged. In the quiet moments of recommitment, the mind strengthens, and the spirit learns that confidence is not an absence of missteps, but the unwavering courage to continue despite them. Each failure becomes a lesson rather than a verdict. When a promise is broken, instead of berating yourself, pause, reflect, and ask, "What can I learn here? How can I rise again?" This reflective practice transforms self-discipline from a rigid set of rules into a deeply personal dialogue with your own spirit. The mind gradually learns that it can rely on itself, even when mistakes occur. The fear of failure diminishes, replaced by a growing certainty that you are capable of consistent, intentional action. Confidence in this sense is almost alchemical. It is not built in grand gestures, but in the repeated, faithful honoring of commitments. The small, often invisible acts of discipline, sitting down for mindful breathing, following through on a morning routine, completing a task you intended to finish, accumulate into a powerful current of self-belief. Over time, you no longer require constant external encouragement. You become your own source of strength, your inner voice aligned with action and integrity. And here lies the modern Zen lesson. Just as a monk practices the same rituals daily, not to impress anyone but to cultivate inner clarity, so too does your confidence grow through disciplined repetition. It is in the sacred space of your private moments that your spirit is strengthened. By observing your promises, honoring them, and learning from each lapse, you cultivate a profound relationship with yourself. You learn patience, compassion for your own journey, and the understanding that self-trust is the seed from which unwavering confidence grows. So as we continue this journey toward the most confident version of yourself, remember that confidence is not a public performance. It is a silent agreement between you and your soul, built one deliberate action at a time. And in each moment that you honor your word to yourself, you lay another stone in the foundation of a confident, resilient, and self-reliant life. As we cultivate trust in ourselves through each promise we honor, we naturally become more prepared to face life's inevitable discomforts. And now, we move to the next part of our journey. Embracing discomfort. Let challenges teach you courage. Confidence does not flourish in comfort. It grows when we step into what feels uncomfortable, when we confront fear and uncertainty head-on. Think of discomfort as your personal training ground, much like a gym for the mind and spirit. Just as muscles need resistance to grow, so too does courage develop through small, consistent acts of challenge. Every time you face something that feels uneasy, whether it's speaking up, trying a new skill, or sitting with emotions that unsettle you, you are expanding the limits of what you believe is possible. It is important to understand that discomfort is not punishment. The sting of failure, the tension of uncertainty, or the awkwardness of new experiences are all guides, quietly pointing to areas where growth is waiting. Instead of asking, "How can I avoid this discomfort?" consider asking, "What can I learn from this moment?" This subtle shift in perspective transforms challenges from obstacles into teachers. Each difficult moment becomes a mirror, reflecting not weakness, but opportunity. For example, imagine a moment when you are nervous about public speaking. The racing heart, sweaty palms, and internal dialogue that says, "I can't do this," are signals, not stop signs. By stepping forward anyway, you are training the courage muscle. Each attempt, even if imperfect, strengthens your resilience. You begin to realize that fear does not need to be silenced. It simply needs to be guided. You are the one holding the wheel, not the fear. Discomfort also strips away illusions. When life pushes you beyond familiar limits, it exposes what is truly possible. Many of us avoid these moments because they force us to confront our perceived weaknesses. Yet confidence is not pretending you have no limits. It is acknowledging them, accepting them, and then gently pushing beyond them. Each small step forward, each instance of leaning into unease, becomes a victory, a quiet assertion that you are capable of more than you imagined. And here lies the Zen wisdom in modern practice. Sitting with discomfort teaches presence. When we resist or flee from difficult emotions, we remain fragmented. When we accept them as teachers, we integrate our experiences and build a foundation of inner peace. Pain and challenge are no longer enemies. They are guides. Each discomfort becomes a lesson in mindfulness, courage, and clarity. So as we move further in this journey, remember, discomfort is a signpost. It is pointing you toward growth, toward courage, toward the version of yourself that has not yet been fully realized. By embracing it, asking the right questions, and acting with awareness, you transform fear into fuel, hesitation into momentum, and uncertainty into insight. For now, recognize that each uncomfortable moment is an invitation to rise, to practice patience, to refine your inner resolve, and to strengthen the roots of confidence that no external circumstance can shake. Having embraced the lessons hidden in discomfort, we now stand at the threshold of a deeper mastery, the subtle yet powerful dialogue flowing within our minds. And it is here that we step into step 4, mastering your inner voice, the hidden path to true confidence, where every word you speak to yourself shapes your identity and inner strength. Confidence begins not with the applause of others or the recognition of the outside world, but with the conversation you nurture inside. This inner voice, the one that whispers, doubts, encourages, or affirms, is shaping your identity moment by moment. When it repeats words of doubt, insecurity, or fear, it weaves a narrative that keeps you small. But when it echoes strength, patience, and growth, it guides you to stand taller than circumstance would allow. The first step to mastering this voice is awareness. Notice the words you use when speaking to yourself. Do you encourage yourself like you would a dear friend? Or do you scold and criticize yourself more harshly than anyone else could? Many of us carry an inner critic that has never been truly addressed, a voice that speaks long after the noise of the world fades. By simply observing it without judgment, you begin to claim a seat of authority within your mind. Once you recognize the patterns, the work of guidance begins. Replace "I can't" with "I will learn." When the voice says, "I am not enough," answer it with, "I am growing stronger every day." This is not empty affirmation. It is a gentle redirection of mental energy, a training of the mind as one would train a student in patience and discipline. Every repetition strengthens the neural pathways of confidence, making self-trust not just a hope, but a living, breathing companion. It is important to remember that fear will never disappear entirely. It is part of the human experience, a natural sentinel trying to protect you. The task is not to silence it, but to take the wheel. Imagine fear as a passenger. It may point to dangers, whisper warnings, yet it does not determine your path. You do. Each time you move forward despite the voice of fear, your belief in yourself grows a fraction stronger. The beauty of this practice is that it is subtle yet profound. You are not forcing yourself to become fearless. Instead, you cultivate a quiet certainty, a trust in your ability to respond with wisdom and courage. Over time, hesitation diminishes. Decisions become clearer because doubt no longer clogs the process. You carry yourself differently, not because the external world has changed, but because the inner dialogue that guides you has been reshaped. Every day offers opportunities to strengthen this inner voice. Simple acts, choosing patience when frustrated, practicing kindness to yourself, maintaining a steady rhythm of thought, become the scaffolding of unshakable confidence. The inner voice, once a critic, transforms into a mentor, reminding you of your capabilities, helping you navigate setbacks, and echoing the truth of your growing resilience. As we continue our journey, we will explore how the promises we keep to ourselves reinforce this internal mastery, intertwining discipline, trust, and action to form the bedrock of lasting confidence. For now, understand that the mastery of your inner voice is not a single victory, but a lifelong practice. It is in each gentle correction, each choice to speak with compassion and intention, that confidence finds its home. As we learn to master the subtle currents of our inner voice, it becomes clear that confidence is not nurtured in isolation. The environment we inhabit and the people we allow into our lives shape the rhythm of our thoughts and the tone of our self-belief. Just as a plant bends toward light, our minds naturally gravitate toward the voices, energies, and atmospheres that surround us. And so, we arrive at step 5. Surround yourself with strength, where the company we keep becomes a silent teacher, shaping our courage and resilience. Imagine walking into a room where doubt, fear, and criticism float in the air like an invisible fog. Over time, even the strongest intention can waver, as the subtle weight of negativity begins to seep into our thoughts. Conversely, when we spend time with those who inspire, challenge, and uplift us, their strength begins to echo within, gently reinforcing our inner courage. Positive influence is not always loud or dramatic. It can be the quiet friend who reminds you of your worth, the mentor who holds you accountable, the book that whispers ancient wisdom, or the simple act of observing someone else's disciplined presence. The choices we make about our circle are profound. To grow, we must sometimes release relationships that drain us, even if they are familiar or comfortable. Letting go is not cruelty, it is protection, creating space for connections that align with our values, our purpose, and our commitment to self-mastery. Strength does not always announce itself. Sometimes it is subtle, a conversation that sparks reflection, a teacher whose words resonate long after the moment has passed, a community whose values mirror the potential you seek within yourself. Being surrounded by strength transforms confidence from a fragile performance into a natural flow. In such an environment, hesitation softens, self-doubt loses its grip, and the courage to act rises organically. You begin to notice that when you face challenges, you are not walking alone. The current of strength around you lifts you forward. Each supportive presence, each challenge presented by those who refuse to let you settle, becomes a stepping stone in your journey, shaping the way you carry yourself, the way you breathe, and the way you respond to life's tests. This step reminds us that confidence is relational as much as it is internal. It is forged not only in quiet moments of self-discipline, but in the ongoing exchange of energy with the world around us. By consciously choosing to immerse ourselves in sources of strength, whether people, knowledge, or inspiring environments, we cultivate a steady, unshakable self-belief. And as we walk through life enveloped by these currents of power, confidence ceases to be a goal to chase and becomes an inherent quality, flowing effortlessly from our thoughts, actions, and presence. After sensing the strength that comes from embracing challenges and surrounding ourselves with supportive energy, we reach a profound truth in the journey of self-confidence. Falling is not failure. In fact, every stumble, every misstep is a doorway to resilience and growth. Too often, we hesitate not because we lack the skill or ability, but because we fear the fall itself. Yet true confidence is forged in the courage to rise again. Fear of failure is one of the most silent yet powerful barriers to our self-belief. It whispers in moments of hesitation, telling us that stepping forward might break us, that taking a risk is dangerous. But this fear, when observed without judgment, is not an enemy. It is a teacher, a guide showing where we have room to expand. Each time we face discomfort or the possibility of failure, we train our mind to recognize impermanence, to see that a stumble does not define us. Falling is not evidence of weakness. It is proof that we are moving, that we are challenging ourselves to stretch beyond old limits. Think of a child learning to walk. The child does not quit after a single fall. There is no shame, no condemnation, only practice and persistence. Life often convinces adults to forget this truth, to equate failure with inadequacy, but the process is the same. The act of rising again and again builds a foundation of inner strength. Every setback carries a lesson, a failed attempt at a new skill, a difficult conversation that didn't go as planned, or an unexpected rejection. These are not punishments, but messages. They indicate areas where patience, humility, and courage can grow. Self-confidence is born not from never falling, but from showing ourselves repeatedly that we can stand tall, even when the ground shifts beneath our feet. Embracing failure requires a gentle but firm curiosity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this, instead of, how do I avoid it? This shift in perspective transforms anxiety into insight, frustration into opportunity. Each time we rise, we internalize a powerful truth. We are capable, resilient, and continuously evolving. This is how real self-trust is cultivated, not through perfection, but through the persistent commitment to keep moving forward despite uncertainty. In this practice, the emotional weight of failure begins to dissolve. What once felt like a crushing verdict becomes a stepping stone. You start to notice that hesitation diminishes because the mind knows that falling is temporary and growth is permanent. Each scar, each mistake becomes a marker of progress, a symbol of courage, a reminder that you are learning to master both yourself and your reactions to life's unpredictability. Self-confidence rooted in the acceptance of failure is profound because it no longer depends on external approval. You no longer need constant reassurance from others. You have cultivated an inner source of strength that is steady and unwavering. When setbacks occur, you see them as teachers rather than obstacles. Every step forward, no matter how uncertain, is a victory, a testament to your resilience, and a celebration of the strength you have built within. Ultimately, understanding that falling is a natural part of growth allows you to approach life with curiosity and courage. You move differently through the world. Less fear, more clarity, more intentionality. Confidence becomes a lived experience, not a borrowed feeling, and challenges are no longer threats but invitations to expand. The journey of self-confidence is not about avoiding the fall, it is about embracing it, learning, and rising stronger every single time. And with the understanding that failure is merely a stepping stone forward, we move to the next part of today's journey. Living in alignment with your purpose, the true source of lasting confidence. At this stage, confidence no longer relies on external recognition or fleeting achievements. It grows from the resonance between our daily actions and the meaning we assign to our lives. When you act with intention, every choice carries weight, clarity, and alignment with the deepest values within yourself. Think about it for a moment. How often do we act based on what others expect or seek validation from outside sources? We measure our worth by applause, praise, or superficial accomplishments. Yet the sense of confidence derived from these is fragile, fleeting, and dependent on circumstances beyond our control. True confidence, however, is cultivated internally by understanding why we do what we do and anchoring our actions in purpose. It is in this alignment that self-belief becomes steady, unwavering, and unshakable. Living with purpose does not mean that clarity arrives all at once. Often it emerges gradually through reflection, trial, and experience. Ask yourself, what values matter most to me? What do I wish to offer the world? What kind of person do I aspire to become? Each of these questions acts as a lantern, illuminating the path toward authenticity. The answers may be small or incremental, yet they accumulate, guiding your decisions, actions, and presence in a way that no external approval ever could. Purpose transforms challenges. Obstacles that once triggered doubt or fear now take on new meaning. Every setback becomes an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment to your values. When you act in alignment with your purpose, fear loses its grip, hesitation fades, and your inner voice grows stronger. You no longer ask, "Am I good enough?" because you are measuring yourself by an inner compass, not by the fluctuating standards of others. The path itself becomes the teacher, each step a lesson in courage, clarity, and resolve. Moreover, living with purpose expands confidence beyond the self. When your actions are guided not only for personal gain, but for the benefit of others, whether through service, creation, inspiration, or upliftment, your confidence acquires a new depth. It becomes rooted in something greater than your own desires, yet intimately connected to your identity. You act not out of pride, but because every step you take contributes to a meaningful flow of life. The quiet certainty of this alignment radiates outward, influencing those around you without a word spoken. Practically, embracing your purpose requires mindfulness and daily attention. Start with small, deliberate choices that reflect your core values. Even mundane tasks, how you interact with colleagues, how you manage your time, how you respond to adversity, become meaningful when infused with purpose. Over time, these small acts accumulate, forging habits that naturally express confidence. Your energy, posture, and tone resonate with a harmony born from knowing who you are and why you move through the world. It is important to remember that purpose does not eliminate challenges. Difficulties, disappointments, and uncertainties still arise. But purpose provides a grounding force, a compass pointing forward even when the terrain is unclear. It transforms fear into motivation, obstacles into lessons, and ordinary moments into expressions of authenticity. In this way, confidence is not a performance or a facade. It becomes a natural extension of living deliberately and consciously. As we reflect on this final step, it is clear that the journey to the most confident version of yourself is not a race, but a continuous unfolding. From strengthening the body and mastering the mind, to embracing discomfort, honoring promises, cultivating inner dialogue, and learning from falls, each stage prepares you to arrive here, standing firmly in your purpose. When you act from this place, your confidence flows effortlessly, unwaveringly, and deeply. You are not trying to prove yourself. You are simply living in a way that embodies the strength, clarity, and authenticity that have been cultivated through every step of this journey. Having explored the depths of living purposefully, we now arrive at the final stage of this journey, cultivating long-term perseverance. True confidence is never an overnight achievement. It is the product of consistent discipline and unwavering dedication over time. Perseverance is the silent architect behind lasting self-assurance. It is what allows small, seemingly insignificant actions to compound into profound strength, forming a foundation that cannot easily be shaken by external opinions or sudden shifts in circumstance. Imagine the daily choices you make: waking up early to meditate, dedicating time to mindful exercise, practicing patience with yourself and others, or committing to personal growth even on days you feel unmotivated. Each repetition, each moment of consistency is like a single drop of water slowly carving a canyon through stone. Alone, the impact might seem minor, yet over months and years, these small, steadfast actions accumulate into an unshakable sense of inner power. This is the essence of long-term perseverance. It transforms the ordinary into extraordinary, the fleeting into enduring. Challenges will inevitably appear. Life does not offer a straight path, and the pressures, doubts, or distractions around you can tempt even the most disciplined mind to falter. But perseverance is not about perfection. It is about returning, again and again, to the path you have chosen. It is the quiet strength that tells you to continue when the easier choice would be surrender. In this sense, every difficulty becomes not a setback, but a practice ground, a crucible in which your confidence is tempered and strengthened. Those who cultivate perseverance understand that self-confidence does not reside in fleeting moments of praise or external validation. Instead, it resides in the trust built over time, in knowing that you have trained yourself to act with intention and dedication, even when immediate results are invisible. It is in the repeated choices to rise after setbacks, to maintain composure amidst unpredictability, and to honor commitments to oneself, no matter the external pressures. Long-term perseverance also teaches patience. In a culture that values speed and instant gratification, the ability to stay the course becomes a radical act of self-empowerment. Each disciplined day is an investment not only in your goals, but in the very character of your mind. Over time, the accumulation of these disciplined choices creates a feedback loop. Confidence strengthens resolve, and resolve reinforces confidence. This is the cyclical, self-sustaining nature of true inner power. In essence, cultivating long-term perseverance transforms how we relate to ourselves and the world. Obstacles become invitations to grow, failures become lessons, and every consistent effort becomes a testament to our capacity for resilience. By embracing this step, we learn that self-confidence is not a static destination, but a living, breathing practice, one nurtured daily, refined continually, and anchored deeply in the unshakable foundation of perseverance. This final step reminds us that the journey to becoming the most confident version of ourselves is not a sprint, but a lifelong practice of showing up, honoring our commitments, and embracing the transformative power of steady, sustained effort. As we reach the culmination of this journey, remember that true confidence is not something borrowed from the world outside. It is quietly nurtured within, step by step, day by day. The 8 pathways we have explored are not just strategies. They are invitations to transform the very essence of how you relate to yourself and life. Mastering your inner voice, cultivating body and mind, honoring the promises you make to yourself, embracing discomfort, surrounding yourself with sources of strength, accepting the inevitability of falls, living in alignment with purpose, and practicing enduring perseverance. Each step intertwines like threads in a tapestry, forming a living fabric of self-trust and resilience. Confidence, when cultivated in this holistic way, becomes effortless. It is no longer about seeking approval, comparing with others, or clinging to external markers of success. Instead, it flows naturally from the awareness that you are grounded in your own inner power, able to face uncertainty, challenge, and change with poise. It is a quiet, unshakable presence that moves with grace through every moment of life. Now imagine applying these 8 steps consistently. How would your life shift if each day you strengthened your body, listened to your inner voice, embraced the discomfort, and acted with clear purpose? Picture the calm determination that would anchor you, even in stormy moments, the clarity that would illuminate decisions, and the resilience that would rise from each setback. This is not a distant ideal. It is within reach, waiting for your commitment to the practice. I invite you right here and right now to take a small but decisive step. Reflect on just one of these 8 areas today, act on it consciously, and observe how it changes your perception of yourself. Let this be the beginning of a ripple that carries through every moment of your life. And in the next videos, we will explore even deeper layers of self-mastery, uncovering the subtle forces that can elevate your confidence, clarity, and peace to levels you may not have imagined possible. Step forward with courage, stay the course with patience, and trust that each effort, no matter how small, contributes to a life of grounded confidence, vibrant presence, and enduring inner freedom. The journey does not end here. It is only beginning, and the best is yet to come.